Man, that's so good. Creation.
It's always been there, but I couldn't hear it. And I really hope that we don't go back to the total normal of it all.
Hey everyone, this is Matt McCoy. I know that this new season has created a lot of new challenges for you as a worship leader. And because of this, we decided to do a handful of new episodes called Community Stories, where basically I sit down with a worship leader from Loop Community and we just dig into their real life story about how COVID-19 is impacting their worship leading, their church, and their personal life balance. So, listen in on this conversation with someone from our community. I hope this is encouraging to you in this new season.
Hey,
Matt, what's up, man?
that was some sick tunes, Matt.
Yeah, bro.
It's really got me going.
We got to get it going for this morning. Waking everybody up. Although where you are, right? It's like 8 p.m.
Yeah, like
What time
3
is it there?
p.m. 3
3
p.m. Yeah. Midway
All
through.
right.
Got the afternoon slump, got my coffee on. See me through working
Little-
from home. Week 5
Yeah.
of working from home.
Oh, man. Well, bro, thanks for joining this episode of Community Stories. I don't know if you saw my cool title slide here.
I mean, whole minutes have gone into the prep there, and I just really honor
Yeah.
that. Just really respect that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I even added some color.
That's
So-
next level editing. It's amazing.
So where you are in England, right?
Yeah, Bristol in the UK. So it's a town, city, about 2 hours away from London.
Cool.
Yeah, getting on for about 1 million people over the size of it. But yeah.
Wow. And you are a worship leader, or what's your role at your church?
Yeah, so we're bivocational, so we all have normal jobs, and then everything we do is volunteer. So my wife, Annie, and I, we were worship pastors at Woodlands Metro congregation up until we had our first baby a couple of years ago. We are now volunteers at one of the other congregations in our little church network, Highgrove Church. And I still lead up at the kind of mothership church, which is called Woodlands Central, which is our sort of big hub congregation right in the town centre there. So, yeah, Annie and I both on the sort of more smaller local family church thing where we go with our little boy Barnaby. And I do sort of lead worship once a month at the big central one as well.
Wow. Busy.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
also one of our producers. You've been a producer at Loop Community for since the beginning, I think. 10 years?
Yeah, I think the very, very first hymn remix competition in like 20, I
Yeah.
want to say 2011 or 12.
It'd be probably like 2011, 2012.
Yeah, when I had a
So-
black MacBook Pro and a copy of, I
Oh,
think,
that's cool.
Reason 3
Yeah.
that I tried to do a
Man.
remix on. So that's back in the day. We're like old guys telling like war stories now, Matt. We need to be careful. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got Kickstarter Looptimus pedal. So, you know.
Oh my gosh. That's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
So Matt, what do you think has been like the biggest thing you've learned or the biggest challenge you've had to face in this whole COVID-19 as it relates to worship at
As it
church?
relates to worship. Yeah, it's such a big deal, isn't it? We forget the power of the gathering and we don't really realize it until it's removed from us. So here in the UK, we're at no gatherings of any size. So
Nothing.
the team can't go to church and run a service of 5, 6, 7 people. That just doesn't happen. So we're just 100% from home, and we're all trying to work out a way of building something which is authentic, but also of a decent enough quality.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, what we've defaulted into doing, some of our worship leaders at our team, just to talk about the Sunday morning congregation I'm part of, you know, you're trying to do a service every week that's fully online, that is suitable for the under 5s and the over 60s, that try and includes everyone. What we've defaulted into doing is pre-recording everything, loads of different elements. The preacher's re-recorded, the worship's pre-recorded, various kids elements and youth elements and community interviews and stuff. We send that all off to our pastor's 2 boys are my great pastors Ed and Deb Marsh. Their 2 boys are competing and fighting over who gets to edit the Sunday service at the moment. So who knows how long that'll continue. But so worship wise, we've sort of gone here there. There's, in the UK church anyway, we've seen a bunch of churches using a bit of pre-recorded content. So they got together as a team a couple of weeks before lockdown and blitzed a whole bunch of videos. We could have done that, but we felt there's something more authentic about, like, I'm in my son's bedroom right now. That's my home office. And I've led worship from here a couple of times. And actually what people have said to us is, you're in your front room, I'm in my front room, we're all in it together. And that actually helped them to engage in worship a bit better than perhaps trying to be too polished or trying to be too big, because no one's in the church. It's a bit weird to have an empty church. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Everyone's experience is different. But I have been using tracks quite well every week, really, just to give a bit of a fuller sound, because I think that really does help people engage. But then also we've done a few like worship nights just on Facebook Live. It's just an acoustic.
Okay, cool.
So I think, variety is the spice of life, isn't it, on these things? So
yeah. Have you guys noticed if like your attendance has like gone up or down versus, going live?
What do you mean in terms of Sunday service attendance, or or which streams?
Yeah, do you feel like you guys have more people attending church virtually than you did in person?
I think raw numbers in terms of people on the streams and on the websites, we've actually probably got slightly more. Well, it's a bit skewed, isn't it? Because it was Easter, and you feel there was a lot of people. Maybe it's hard to know. I know a couple of churches have seen a bit of a drop off, like the last couple of weeks. I think initial sort of sense, it was quite panicked, quite a lot of fear around people just wanting something to hold on to. What we have seen is a lot of people kind of on the edges and fringes of church, making sure they're logging on, and actually, but you just get that one number, don't you? But maybe it's on in a front room, and maybe somebody's watching it on their TV. They would usually go to church, but their partner doesn't. Maybe they're watching it. So, roughly about the same people. What weirdly, we had the worship night, the first of our kind of live worship nights last Wednesday, and had like 60, 70 people log on and watch and join in. Whereas when we do that live and in person, just on a normal Wednesday night, maybe 10 people show up. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting. Are you changing how you do things to, because watching worship online can sometimes feel, when you sit in your living room and you're watching worship, you're like, am I supposed to sing along? Like, you can definitely hear yourself singing because there's no one else in the room except for maybe your wife and kids or something.
Yeah.
Like, so do you guys do worship differently because of that, or?
So this is where I bring in a bit of my personal history. So my wife and I, we actually met as part of more of the IHOP kind of 24/7 worship and prayer. So we've got a huge lifetime of experience of leading worship in empty rooms.
Okay, yeah.
So we would do a few. For me, it's no bother at all in a sense, just to focus in. But I definitely miss the buzz of like a room. One of the things that we have to be careful of, and I don't know if this, like when you join a Facebook live stream or whatever, the temptation is to get into a bit of a jokey mode, which is kind of fun, like people comment and it's like, oh, look at your cat who's jumped on you, whatever. And like the British, we're kind of like known for making really, really excellent jokes about authority without actually really questioning it. And you see that online, we've got a lot of comments. But we've just in the last couple of weeks, and actually my friend Matt Price, who's the worship pastor at Metro Church that's part of our network now, was the sort of first to recognise this. And he just encourages people now when he starts his set just to maybe not comment for the worship and maybe try and like really focus in and sort of engage with God in a way that, because if you're thinking of the next funny thing to say, you're not really there.
Yeah,
and standing up as well, we just encourage people to stand up and maybe try and engage and kind of not to worry how they look kind of thing. Helps when the tech works, doesn't it? And you've got all the words and everything. And
man, that's actually like really, really good advice, because I do think that once people get live, once the record button starts going, you can start getting a little goofy. And then you kind of miss, you kind of forget that you're leading people somewhere. And you can throw off the moment because maybe they're not in the room with you, so it's not maybe as funny, or they don't get it as much. Or
and like anyone who's been in a relationship for a long time will know just how powerful an ill-timed joke is at killing a romantic moment.
Killing a moment. Yeah, right. Totally.
And like it's a journey we're all on. Like, we love a bit of the fun part of this stage we're in. We can have a bit more fun and engagement and banter is the word we use here. So we want to sort of engage that, but also just recognize that, we have got people joining and watching, and it's like a sort of shop window into church, but we want them to encounter God, really. Yeah, right. And actually, we still have that. It's a bit of a discipline for us to keep choosing and keep focusing in, because we haven't got that physical sense of the congregation around you to keep you focused, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, but I find me and my wife, we find it really, really weird when we're being led in worship by our past selves.
Totally. It is. Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, because you're pre-recording. It's like, wait, this already happened.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
we've got a fantastic blooper reel to come in a couple of weeks as well to share with the
that's
church.
funny.
Yeah.
Do you guys record your worship in one take, or you do it in songs and then you edit them and put together a set list later?
I've been doing 2 at a time, roughly. Okay. So we've got a little toddler running around the house. He likes to attack equipment.
Yeah.
And his favorite song is "The Blessing," by Carrie Jovi and Cody. Yeah. And if we're not singing that, he's not happy. So you get this little 2-year-old screaming "Amen" at the top of his voice in the background of whatever you're trying to record.
Yeah.
So I get what I can get, to be honest, Matt, in terms of takes. But we have been trying to use the track, leave a pad running on Prime. So I've been using Prime on my laptop into my ears, set up my mics and record everything. Match it all up later with the stems from the cloud.
Yeah, right.
And try and do that just to mix in the bits to make it a bit of a fuller sound. But yeah, I've been trying to do it like no more than 2 at a time, because we've been doing sort of shorter 1-hour services where we do like 2 songs. I'll tell you what's been really fun is our devotion, our youth church. They've been doing those kind of play along kind of videos, where you all like listen to a song and play along. And last week they did "Who You Say I Am" by Hillsong Worship, and there was like 6 of them all lined up on the screen in their little houses, one playing bass, one playing cajon, one singing. And they use Prime to line themselves up to the same arrangement for that. So I've just been trying to be a bit creative. Yeah, it was fun.
What have you guys been using, just from a technical standpoint? What have you been using to actually stream out your videos? Are you uploading to YouTube and Facebook, or?
We're doing both. So we're going Facebook Live, and then we have our YouTube as well. I don't actually know the program that's being used. It's my pastoral team, Ed and Deb. They've been covering that. I did see a name of a program. I've been debating with them about the audio quality, because I care about that kind of stuff. But yeah, we have it on the website, because we know that a bunch of not everybody has Facebook, and everybody likes Facebook. So we're a congregation that skews both ways, really young to the oldest. We want to make sure it's accessible as possible. And also, the Facebook Live disappears after a while. I don't really know the details on this stuff, but we try and have it on our website, and YouTube embedded link on our website too.
Yeah, that's cool. One of my last questions for you is, let's just talk about like missing church. So I actually haven't led worship now since, I think it was early March, before this all broke out. And the reason I haven't led worship is because I'm at a church where they bring me in. I'm basically like an extra volunteer there. So I was leading worship probably about 2 times a month. And now I haven't led since early March. And I'm like really starting to miss it. And I'm like, man. And I miss going to church, and I miss being like with people. And I miss just I grew up my whole life in church, like as a pastor's kid. Like, we go to church on Sunday morning, and one of the most comfortable places I feel is a church building. And it doesn't even have to be my church. Like, I can go to any church, and I just feel so comfortable there and like safe, and like, I don't know. I just miss that. Like, how has that been for you, as far as like, it's been almost 2 months since we've gone to church. Are you feeling any of the same feelings, or how are you dealing with that?
I think the last time I was actually physically at church, this is really weird, because I work quite a lot in London. So my team is based in London, so my office is in London, so I'm always back and forth on the train. And I don't know if you know, but London was the first real hotspot of the virus.
Yeah, right.
And the last time I led worship was on a Sunday morning, and halfway through that morning, like 2 or 3 people in my team had the virus, or had been in my office. And I started to get a sore throat and cough, and I got a mad temperature while I was leading. I went home straight to bed. So that was actually the last time I led. Didn't develop into anything serious. So, but it brought it home to me then. When I really missed it, actually, Matt, was Easter Sunday, because week 2 is we have like 4 weeks. That's how we rota. And Sunday nights, week 2 is my Sunday night, and our Sunday night was Easter. So we was really looking forward. The team, I've got a brilliant team on my week 2 band, and I hadn't really thought about it until that moment.
Yeah.
But then I thought, oh man, we'd be at church. It would be Easter Sunday. There'd be like 800, 1,000 people. We'd have a great celebration. That's when I really missed it, because as nice as the quiet and the smaller reflective is it.
Yeah.
You know, those big moments in church life and the church calendar, the celebratory moments. You know, there's something extra special about them. So I hadn't really missed it up until then. I hadn't missed getting up really early because we on a Sunday morning when we're leading, we're at church 8:30. So to be honest, I was quite enjoying being in my PJs, drinking coffee for the first couple of church services.
Right. That is kind of nice. At first, I was like, wow, this is great. I can just like drink a coffee, sit on the couch, and hey, I can watch any church I want in the world. Like, hey, I've always wanted to go to Hillsong. I could just watch Hillsong. Want to go to Elevation this weekend? Oh, I'll go to Elevation.
It goes back to your first question about, have you noticed that there's an increasing number of people streaming? I wonder how much is that people just like...
They went to Elevation
like
Church
being nosy and sort of checking it out.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
We, I don't know, definitely miss the people, miss the team, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily miss some of the busyness.
Yeah, right.
You know, me and my wife have said to ourselves a couple of times, like, I can't believe we let ourselves get so busy, you know, that we've never had time. Like we've had time to eat together every night as a family. We've, you know, stuff that we just didn't work, wasn't happening for us with work plans, but it's happened every night. It's not to make light of the situation in any way, shape or form, but there have been some things coming out of it that are things that we've realized, you know? I definitely look forward to being in a room and just feeling that numinous thing that comes, you know, it does say that where two or more are gathered, there I am. And, you know, there's that element of it we're missing, I think, at the moment. Like,
luckily I'm married.
right.
You know, otherwise that'd be just one. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I know, man. I really hope that we can kind of get back to that again. And I do think you're right that like there are some new habits that I think we're developing or ways of life that I hope that do carry on past COVID-19. Because you're right. It's like, wow, we were so busy and we didn't have time to just like eat together. Or I've never FaceTimed old friends and family like so much. And it's actually like, wow, I probably should be doing that more.
Right. Like for me, I look back in my typical working week, I'd spend sort of 20 to 25 hours commuting. Sort of go up and down to London. I'd do overnights in London, and I've got all that time back. And it's like, wow, that's a gift. I mean, so far I just, you know, don't feel guilty if you haven't learned a new language or started a new business or anything. But like, and you know, it's very, very challenging if you've got kids to look after or dependents to look after, or you know what the rules we have in this country. If you're over a certain age or if you're in a certain vulnerable group, you're not allowed to go out. So you know, my parents, both in their 70s, they're technically what's called shielded, so they can't go out. So you know, it's very tricky for some. But still, I mean, my wife got hold of. Do you know John Mark Comer's book? The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, well, I've had the time and I'm working my way through it. So it seems like a bit of a timely kind of good, almost like prophetic thing. But
isn't that wild?
Yeah, still though, for me, I'm a doer.
Got to keep moving.
Like, you know, there is. I'm getting to that point a little bit now where I kind of need to achieve something.
I'm the same way. And I start thinking like, man, it's funny you mentioned like learning a foreign language or something, because I was thinking like, man, what am I doing with my time? Like I should know like Italian by now, or have started another company. But I think
you're doing fine as you are.
It's almost like, you know, I think of that psalm where it's like, he makes me lie down in green pastures. You know, like he makes us lie down in green pastures. And this might be a time where God's just like making us like slow down and rest and just chill out and enjoy the pasture, you know?
Because sheep won't do that. Sheep will not lie down unless there's also, and nobody likes to be, my old pastor Philip does a great talk about this, like nobody wants to be a sheep. Like there's nobody in the church getting a tattoo of a sheep. Everyone's got tattoos of, you know, and whenever you see those guys doing prophetic art, they very rarely paint sheep. There's nearly always a line. Anyway, that's like a private thing, but it's not a very cool animal, but it kind of sums up who we are. Like Ben Stewart at Passion City Church, or I think he does the Washington one. He's got a great talk on that, which I listened to a couple of weeks ago about that whole thing. But like everyone's asking this question in the workplace as well. Like I work in the investment world, and everyone's asking, what will the future look like? Will some of this stuff carry on? We're seeing wildlife come back into cities and stuff. Will that carry on? We're seeing like environmental impacts of our lives going way down. Nobody's flying anywhere,
Right.
nobody's driving anywhere. Like cities have got like clean air. Like I step out of my house here in Bristol, I can hear the birds.
Yeah.
Like
that
creation's there. It's always been there, but I couldn't hear it. And I really hope that we don't go back to the total normal of it all.
Wow.
Outside of the sort of church environment, like I think I can't wait to be in a room with my family again, my wider church family. But equally, I won't take it for granted perhaps as much as I did.
Man, that's so good. Creation, it's always been there, but I couldn't hear it. That's such a good
there you go.
Quote right there.
Write a song with that, Matt.
I know, that's so good, man. Well, bro, thank you for joining this community stories. We just thought it'd be fun to like kind of hear like what's happening in like real worship leaders' lives, and because this is facing like everybody in the world, which is pretty interesting, and hopefully it's kind of encouraging to other worship leaders that like we're all maybe in the same boat, feeling some of the same feelings. And you guys go check out Matt's tracks. What's your username, Matt?
Macro99.
All right, so if you see Macro99, and look for Matt Crosman on Loop Community, his community tracks. Make sure you purchase those and support him, because I don't know if you guys know this too. I always have to like remind people that like every time you purchase a community track, you're supporting like directly, like money goes to worship leaders. So if you buy Matt's track, like he gets a cut of that. So
and that for us goes straight back into our church.
Yeah.
So everything I earn on Loop Community I buy more Loop Community tracks for churches in our little group. So please go.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, go. Thanks, bro. It's great hanging out with you.
No worries, man.
Yep. Have a good rest of your day.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us on the Loop Community Podcast. Music from this episode is brought to you by John Guerra from his album Little Songs. Make sure you check it out on Apple Music or Spotify. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, leave a review and a rating. It means a lot. We'll see you soon.